Okay, we're back live. We've got it. The only thing you missed was the opening cutscene, which was just... Oh look, there's a big snake here. A big sea serpent. So while we wait for this cutscene to jump in, where we left off was Leviathan was called by the Sahagan. We have to stop it. We built this raft with all these corrupted crystals down here to protect ourselves during this particular part. And so we are not overpowered by the elemental of water. That's all there is to Levy. So now we can continue our journey. Do-do-do. For posterity's sake, I can go hop in and replay the opening of that battle. Just so it's recorded. Okay, where are we going? In the command room in Limsa. So, we'll do that. I'll go back to Limsa, stop over in the Drowning Wench, look at the opening. But you pretty much saw the whole battle, so... And even though it is kind of light in this room, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my lamp on, because shadows. I did move my camera around a little bit, so I'm not perpetually blocking these things. And eventually I'll have a cross stitch that I want to work on that'll hang here. So it won't just look like room. Because I love the angle that my laptop has when I'm working, which is right kind of this diagonal, but I can never get it to work with my other laptop, or with my other camera setup. And so that's what I worked on in the interim, was trying to figure out how to line that up. Where the hell am I going this way? Note to self, always make sure that game capture is capturing before I start streaming. Don't just assume it's gonna work. Innkeep. No.
There used to be a hamlet beyond Sap.
It's not what I wanted. Can I not see the intro to that? Maybe I have to finish this quest first. We'll check back after. That would make sense. I'd actually have to finish the quest before it gets recorded. Do 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 do. I did have dinner this time, so I won't, if I end up going long, which I don't expect I will because my eye's been bugging me, but if I end up going long, I won't have missed dinner. What did you just say? Knowing the urgency of your business, I thought it best to refrain from making conversation during your past few visits, but today I will permit myself a few words. I feel truly privileged to have had the honor of admitting a hero such as you. You are an inspiration to us all, sir, and on that note, the Admiral awaits you in the command room. Wink. Hi, everybody. Another notch on the old belt, is it? Well done, my friend. Were I a god, I dare say I would tremble at your summoning. So often do you achieve the impossible that I fear my words of congratulations will begin to sound repetitive, if indeed they have not already. With this in mind, I shall only say only that I am glad of your safe return. That such beings can be defeated runs contrary to all I know. Whence comes your strength and sense of purpose? My congratulations, Gale. This victory will serve to quiet the Sahagin, for a time at least. A number of things did not go exactly to plan, I will admit. Leviathan denied us the luxury of ramming him, for one, but let's not quibble over the manner of the victory, eh? If Limsa is safe and we are yet undrowned, I conclude that it has been a good day. Now go and bask in the Admiral's gratitude, will you? You certainly earned the right.
We Lominsons are sworn to strive, till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have, had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa Lominsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally. On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks. 'Tis meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
Wink, wink.
Before I set foot in these lands, I had no inkling that the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man. Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
He's no bard.
Naught escapes your searching eye, Admiral.
Never seen him wield a bow.
Few are privy to this information, but Limsa Lominsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own.
He's a rogue.
By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own, though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Though you may labor to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
Meow meow.
Yestola! You jest, of course.
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa Lominsa, or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Ul'dah, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
We all know his past.
Minfilia, please!
Look at the smirk on Gale's face. Let's roast Thancred.
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Morderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment, but if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
You wished a word in private.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds did before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, but how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
I have not forgotten our conversation, Y'shtola. I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagin's reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
I'll not deny your reasoning. But when a storm gathers, it falls to me to see my people safely through it. That is my duty, and I shall do it.
This theme, self-preservation versus self-preservation, it'll appear again in a much more grand scale.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course then, but know that it will lead to no good end.
Man has ever put himself first and foremost. To justify his actions, he clads himself in the armor of righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Eorzea has become as a raging sea. If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
Axe. Dual Hocket. Do-do-do-do. The Admiral has informed me of the arrangement. I have in my keeping a letter of introduction for Lady Ugidi. To the south stands a gate leading to a pier of small fishing vessels. Look for the inconspicuous Hurrian man there and present the letter to him. He serves as a gatekeeper of sorts. Now, before you go, I am obliged to remind you that members of the fraternity to which you would be introduced abide in the shadows of Luminson society. They value their independence more highly than pirates, and are united by a bond stronger than mithril. To wit, they are invariably wary of new faces. Though it be penned by the Admiral herself, mere words on parchment will get you only so far into their confidence. You must work for every ounce of trust they place in you. But here is the letter. Go to the aforementioned place and show it to the aforementioned man. Oh, and good luck. Alright. Now that we did that, let's head up and see if we can see the opening to Levy, just so I have that on record. And then we'll head down to the Sisters of St. Edelweiss. That's the death one. Do I get the intro one? There we go. This is what we missed when the screen was black. Mistbeard. Okay. And that's about where we cut it. Fisherman's Guild. The dutiful sisters of the Edelweiss. What? Didn't your mammy teach you to brood to stare? Got business with me, Venture? A letter penned by Admiral Merwib introducing Ugiri of Doma to the members of Limsulaminsen's as yet unnamed secret fraternity. So, you're the man the Admiral sent word of. I was hoping I might catch a glimpse of Thancred, too. Been a while since I saw his shite-eaten grin. But with all the doe-eyed wenches about, I suspect he's got his hands full. Ah, you must be the Far Easterner what Merlib says wants to train with us. Welcome to Limsa, milady. I am Ugiri of Doma. 'Tis an honor to make your acquaintance. I must confess, when I first learned of your organization, I had certain preconceptions as to the nature of your membership. 'Twould seem I was mistaken. You're not the first person to say that, lass. Limsa's a city of pirates, to be sure, and pirates don't give two farts about keeping a spotless reputation. They hardly need a secret society to do their dirty work. Might be as my people and I keep to the shadows, but we've got nothing to be ashamed of. It's simply better for business that we remain unseen. And so you have developed fighting techniques suited to this purpose, I see. Know that the practitioners of my art, too, are denizens of the shadow. 'Tis in stealth that our strength lies. There is much we might learn from one another, I think. Then what in the seven hells are we waiting for? If you'd come with us, you geary of do-what's-it, we can get acquainted in more private surroundings. Huh? That didn't come out right, did it? Master Gale, I shall remain with these people for a time, that I might study their ways. Though I am loath to be separated from my countrymen, I take solace in the knowledge that they are in the best of hands. You have been a true friend to us, Domans. No words would suffice to express my gratitude. Ere long, I hope to begin imparting my martial knowledge to the people of Eorzea. When the time comes, it would be my honor to welcome you as a student. We're gonna stick as a warrior, thanks. Much and more has occurred since first I beheld Eorzea from the Galeon's deck. Suffice it to say, I did not envisage being invited to play a part in your noble struggle. But forgive me, I have kept you over long. Doubtless you have pressing business of your own. Rest assured that I no longer require an escort in this land. When next you meet Lady Minfilia, relay to her my humblest thanks. Would that I could do so in person, but I must needs fulfill my promise to the Admiral. Till we meet again, warrior of light. And we go back to the Rising Stones with a simple click of a button. In my native land there exist individuals not unlike these adventurers, yet without a master to serve, how does one know the path one must walk? I have been tasked with helping out in the kitchen. Once I have grown accustomed to my duties, I hope to treat our host to traditional Doman cuisine. An adventurer bends not to authority, but lives and acts according to his own beliefs. He is the master of his own destiny. The Rising Stones. What a peculiar name for a sanctuary. On behalf of the Scions, I bid you welcome to the Rising Stones. With your cooperation, we hope to grow rich and transform this place into the Pilling Gold. Tee-hee! Oh, Gale, forgive me, but I must see to the Doman's needs. What if you wanted to solve a problem that's already happened, like the Garleans destroying Doma? History is our friend, young one. The answers to the problem of the present are oft to be found within the past. We need but seek them out. You too flatter me, dear, and I do believe you had had a bit too much to drink. Oh, Thancred's drunk. Some 15 years ago, a mission took me to Ul'dah. 'Twas then I had first chance to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. I dared not blink lest I deprived myself of even a split second of your radiance. You're coping. What in the seventh hells are you doing up there? Get down here before you fall and break your neck. You think this is impressive? In Dona, we train to run in the treetops. To Don't mind Papalimo, he's making a fuss over nothing as usual. Yozen's sense of balance is amazing for his boy his age. I wonder how he got so good. Some of the Domans wanted to learn how to fight, and it's fallen to me to oversee their training. First, I need to find suitable equipment for everyone. 1, 2, 1, 2.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy.
How do you think it possessed Thancred?
It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale, yet recent events have given me cause to wonder. Could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
It is done, my lord. I... Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Through the Maelstrom, we have finished 2.2, and we now begin 2.3, Defenders of Eorzea. We'll try to get about halfway through before we call it tonight. And I have my list of what the quests are, so I know when we're about halfway through. Okay. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, no, it avails us not to speculate. Eorzean will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Moggelmog XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelves Wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asilia? I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Dolmens. At present, they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Gale, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. In case it gets a little unruly. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Dolmens. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray, calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one who got what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man, not as wouldn't sully his soul ruiner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run, only question was where. And then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru, is Artemis? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinaud has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. This can't be right. Why would they do that? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady, we are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud and quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray, do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Yida and Papalimo will see to it. Alphinaud is being treated in the hourglass. Hurry, Gale! That's the event. I really don't care about the events on Gale. Well, you're standing.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over.
Stoked by Teledji Adeledji, perhaps?
Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Ramuh and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions with the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Reborn has to say upon the matter. Now is not a good time, Gale. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphino, back on your feet already? You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the Ul'dah citizenry and the refugee population has increased since the Domans were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single guild to spend, who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that the powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, And now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. Do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarist would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Gale. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request for such information, but I've no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. Or my stern, silent nod. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Oh, my eyes. You look as though you have something to say, Gale. Do you? What you ask for is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. On it. I'd leave here this very day if I could, but I haven't the guild to do so. And gods know there's no work to be had in this stagnant cesspit. Despite having no decent soil, we've managed to grow some crops. The wee ones can enjoy a proper meal on occasion. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchants have yet to return, and I'm increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions are correct. You haven't the foggiest idea what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. Oh, you mean those refugees? Oh, no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like the merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Blood. So much blood. Ah, don't hurt me! I'm not one of them! Wait, I know your face. Are you not the man from the Church of Saint Adeledji? 1,000 pardon, my friends. I took you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you have agreed to help. 12 be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone know the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists have returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look beyond yonder tent, and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized he is by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that the merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me, be here to soothe me. Why didn't you have to stay and leave me alone? Calm down, calm down. Who are you? What do you want? It's true. I followed the merchant. May the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said, and when we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us up into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... Oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. Pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to the merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one man. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce the plot. I never equipped my new axe. Ooh, I like it. And while we're here, we'll grab some food. Seven hells, they found us! Everyone, grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint ye, lad, but we're more than willing to kill ye ourselves. Is that what you think? Oops. Didn't turn that off. Any more? Beat him like it was nothing. Thal almighty, what are we gonna do now? You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better than a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Hi, Nim. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? But where else would he be, unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? As I recall, he wished to approach the refugees there as well, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. And now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad requests. It will surely lead us to ruin. There's a kitty, there's a kitty, there's a kitty next to me. She probably wants treats. Unfortunately. There, that rhymed. I'm scratching your ears. I'm scratching your ears. And Leia's sleeping up on her perch. Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the Evelers. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Lots of people left with the man after that, but no one's come back. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Do, do, do. Playing one-handed, because one hand's petting my cat. Welcome back, Gale. Have you learned aught of interest? You persuaded a gang of refugees to lay down their arms? The Flame General will be pleased to learn of this. Less so, these other revelations. You must apprehend this treasonous snake at once. I don't wear earrings. This merchant has not only publicly incited sedition within the Sultanate, but gone so far as to provide material support to would-be belligerents. It galls me that his role in this uprising should have escaped our notice for so long. Yet I can't imagine why it did. Rightly or wrongly, those with whom he consorts do not trust us. Alas, trust is not easily gained, even in times of peace. We must nevertheless try, for I believe it is only with the cooperation of the refugees that we will catch our quarry, and so I would have you to continue your investigation in Pearl Lane. We know that the merchant sought to recruit the people of Lost Hope and Stone's Throw, so it would seem reasonable to assume that he may have approached the residents of Pearl Lane as well. After all, the first riots occurred within the city itself. Most, if not all, will refuse to discuss this subject with you, but there is one who may be willing to do so, a man named Landebert. He, too, has his misgivings about us, but I believe he understands that these riots do little to further his people's cause. On it. Do-do-do. Run, Gale, run! Ul'dah is a big place. Where'd the kitty go? Oh, the kitty went bye-bye. I could have gone up to Pearl Lane on this side. Here we go. First comes a man with a promise of deliverance. Seeing your suffering firsthand will bear it no longer, he says. Your friend, your ally, your comrade in arms. Take his hand and he will guide you to a better tomorrow. Then comes a soldier with the promise of justice. Follow the man who came before at your peril, says he, for those who sow the wind shall reap the whirlwind. The man's no saint, any fool can see that. We're but tools for his task to be used and discarded. As for this soldier, he thinks only of his mission. He's more honest than the man, but every bit of ruthless, make no mistake. With whom shall I cast my lot? Neither, says I. Far as I'm concerned, you're no better than the bastard you pursue. Now, the soldier is thinking how else might he get what he wants. He's tried the diplomatic approach and failed. Mayhap a firmer hand is needed. Mayhap he needs to make an example out of this Alamegan scum like he did those 5 fools from Lost Hope. Well, you'll get no justification from me, soldier, if that's what you're waiting for. I'll not raise a hand against you. But neither will I lend a hand to help you. Not that it makes any difference. The gods seem bent on granting your every bloody wish. There you are, Landbirds. Have you given any thought to my proposal? Aye. There he goes, towards the gates of Thal. Go and claim your prize for coin and country. You, again. Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations? None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. Want to bet? For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claimed. Surely you don't think I give a Keekern's arse about politics? It was business. Only business. I was trying to remember when this part came up. We both know that I am not the one you want. However, if you'd agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Yeah, so much for that. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. Well, I'm glad you know I'm a Scion. Even if you don't call me by my proper name as Warrior of Light. Where am I going? Oh, back inside. Okay. What news, Gale? Where is the merchant? Kind of dead. Murdered! Damn it all to the seventh hell! He was not simply murdered, Gale. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was already ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. No earrings for me. The Flame General left word that you are to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you return. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of your own investigation. Master Alphino has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray, proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. On it. We're gonna hop into here and use the Aetherite. Chamber of Rule. The Chamber of Rule. There's a cleric up here with a buffalo calf. Excellent work, Gale. The information you brought us has helped me persuade General Ramuh to call this meeting. Mayhap now we can discuss matters openly and honestly. We have been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside. I will definitely take a ring. What do I want? Strength, fit, tenacity? Yeah, that would be for me.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teledji Adeledji.
Teledji Adeledji. But he spoke in favor of the Domin's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Because he's a monetarist.
Know you of the Carteneau Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Carteneau Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
It's where PvP happens.
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Carteneau Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Allagan ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean Alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teledji Adeledji proposed the Carteneau Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean Alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
Would that such a leader never came to power.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Carteneau Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teledji Adeledji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Carteneau Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Ul'dah like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teledji Adeledji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Ul'dah.
Isn't that a reference to Hamlet?
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Private Fairheart. Pray, keep us informed of any developments in Carteneau. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children! I'm sorry. I was looking for you, mister. People said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I am afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. He's probably like 5 years older than you. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an aether-starved primal. Even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. No. Don't get any ideas, Alphino. Gale, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I ask that you return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I'll explain in detail once you arrive. The Twelveswood? Then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed? I have received no reports of Ixal activity, which leaves the sylphs. Go, Gale. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Is that passive aggressiveness there? I come on behalf of the Elder Seedseer to petition the aid of your order. The antecedent has been apprised of the situation. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Gale. I really should have considered that before I picked his name. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it'll heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Mind, intelligence, money. I need to equip my ring. That's a 90, that's a 49, that's a 110. You go there. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the sylphs may have called forth the revered guardian, the primal Ramuh. I'm sorry, may have? Then it's not certain. The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but the fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramuh is reputed to act only in defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did naught to prevent it? I told Papalymo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't as much we could do except wait and see. You know how the sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramuh once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so as long as Castramorian stands, the sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Yda and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. But by all accounts, the recent violence in Ul'dah drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like the sylphs perceived this panic migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds, once again as the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Gale, through your dealings with the sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramuh can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial. And maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must first needs consult with the nation most affected by Ramuh's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Gale. Pray report to Commander Hilu at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Oh, now my cheeks hurt like I have a sinus infection. That's not good. steel yourself for the worst. While hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Apparently I'm dropping frames. Nope, my bitrate sounds coming back up slowly. Gale of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. There we go, now we're back to normal. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray, make your way to Nafaka's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the lotus stand. I'm allergic to streaming again. The other scions have already arrived, sir. May I show you in? If you're silent, why are you talking? I see the sylphs have sent their own representative. There can be no doubt, then. It is said that once Ramuh passes judgment, his wrath is implacable. 'Twould be best to conclude this discussion ere Gridania and its people are placed upon his scales. Whatever the Elder Seedseer is planning, I want you to know that I'll be right there by your side, and I'm sure your Stola won't be far behind, even if she does think everything is mankind's fault. I am most curious to hear how the Elder Seedseer means to treat with Lord Ramuh. Oh, hello, Walking One. It is good to see a friend of Elder One. Please be voice acted. Please be voice acted.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears, when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs, too, have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown,
we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Gale of the Scions, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramuh himself, an unenviable task and one that shall be made all the more difficult by the interference of the touched sylphs. With the aid of the Scions and the inhabitants of Little Solus, the Order of the Twin Adder will enter the Sylphlands and do what can be done to clear your path. I shall brief you on the impending operation once you are satisfied with your preparations. Ready, are you? Then allow me to explain the finer details of this foray into the Sylphlands. In order that you might treat with the Lord of Levin, we must first learn where the primal is to be found. Though we are certain Ramuh was summoned somewhere within the territory of the touched sylphs, his precise whereabouts yet elude us, and aimlessly thrashing around in the undergrowth will only lead to unnecessary conflict. We are fortunate, then, to have the expertise of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn at our disposal. Mistress Ida and her companions will make use of their Charlian devices to measure recent etheric activity. They assure me that the disturbance caused by the summoning of a primal shall prove a most obvious beacon. But we must not get ahead of ourselves. Your first objective will be to join up with your fellow scions. Time being of the essence, they have already entered the Sylphlands. Fear not, however, they have a twin adder escort and a sylph guide for Help! This one needs help! The guide? What has become of our companions? These ones were ambushed at the border of Touched One's territory. Touched Ones tossed a stinging scale bomb, and arrow-shooting ones were left coughing and crying. What of the scions? Arrow-shooting ones were in the lead and took the worst of the stinging. Other walking ones scattered this way and that to escape the same fate. Barely 2 steps into the Sylphlands, and we have already lost our charges. But it will profit us little to go running after them until we know exactly what we're facing. Let us first tend to the scouts and assess the situation. This one has cleansing water for walking ones. Splash it over arrow-shooting ones and rinse away the stinging scales from eyes and nose and mouth. My thanks. I will leave this task to Gale's capable hands. "'Tis hardly an auspicious beginning, but I must ask that you adhere to the plan and rendezvous with your fellow scions. If you can get the scouts back on their feet, they may be able to point you towards your companions. Oh, and be on your guard. If this operation is to succeed, we can ill afford another mishap. Coughing and crying ones are not far. This one will show walking one the way." I've been tired all day. Oh, that's so much better. Thank you. A sylph threw some manner of powder. Ah, praise Nathaka. I thought to claw my own eyes from my skull. Does that bastard sylph yet linger? I can still barely see. Another walking one? Ha! This one shall not foster. This one carries an entire sack of... Huh? This one's sack of scale bombs? It is gone! No matter, this one will fetch more, and then new walking one will suffer as well. Hee. This one stole Touched One's sack while Touched One was gloating over coughing ones. But this one's clever trick will mean naught if Touched One fetches more scale bonds. Walking One must act fast. This one will use another clever trick to help Walking One move unseen. Walking One must sneak up on Touched Ones before this one's trick wears off. Take the scale bomb and give Touched One a taste of Touched One's own medicine. Is Walking One ready? This one is eager to make mischief for Touched Ones. Hold still. Walking One will soon be there, but not there, just like the wind. Layers. Ow, 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 ow! This one leaves smart and prickle, but this one was being so careful with the scales. I don't know where your sister is, but there's some for you and some for her. Oh, come on, I'm almost 10 levels higher than you. Did Walking One give Touched One a stinging surprise? Touched One will not bother these ones for a time, this one thinks. And Coughing and Crying Ones seem much better. Perhaps Arrow Shooting Ones are ready to talk with Walking One now. I can finally see again. Your aid is most appreciated. You are Gale of the Scions, yes? Then you will doubtless be eager to know what became of your fellows. As you are aware, our party fell victim to an ambush. We scouts immediately moved forward to engage the enemy and bid the Scions to take cover. Then, before we knew what was happening, the air was filled with that stinging, choking dust. The last thing I saw before my vision clouded was Master Papalymo stumbling northeast towards the gold leaf dais. I know not what befell the others. The touched sylphs are certainly alerted to our presence in their territory. I urge you to locate your companions quickly. Maxio, our guide, will be of the greatest help to you in your endeavor. Meanwhile, my fellow scouts and I will seek to draw the attention of potential ambushes away from you. Their nasty tricks will not find us in such easy prey a second time. No, it's not the Harry Potter music, not at all. Just like Gridania's not Lord of the Rings, not at all. And Sephiroth is not When Stars Collide, not at all. No, I will not walk another step. Let us cease this despoilment of the forest and return home. Enough of this. My feet ache, my back hurts, and I wish to leave these sylphs in peace. Etheric readings? Why don't you let this fellow take your measure? They're fakes. Why do you persist? There is no need to take measurements. I can tell you with certainty that Lord Ramuh was nowhere to be found. Is something bothering Walking One? Wise ones were not acting as wise ones should. This one is not sure how wise one should behave, but this one suspects sneaky ones seek to deceive Walking One with skin-changing tricks. Walking One must take these trick-breaking scale bombs and throw them at skin-changing sneaking ones, although this one does not suggest throwing anything unless Walking One is sure wise ones are not truly wise ones. Oh, I'm sure. Excuse me, I'm walking here. wise ones were sneaky ones in disguise after all? So this one led Walking One into Sneaky One's trap? Forgive this one. This one will search some more, and so must Walking One. Does Walking One still have trick-breaking scale bombs? This one fears more sneaky ones may be lurking nearby. Oh, woe is me! I cannot go on. It is far too dangerous. What if something were to happen to my beautiful face? Gale, it's you! I was worried you wouldn't find us. Seeing as you have, though, do you think you could give me a hand? Thancred's been a bit difficult. I keep telling him we should be taking readings, but he refuses to move. That's the real Ul'dah. I really don't know what Thancred's so worried about. His face isn't that beautiful. Still gotta use it on you? Ugh! What'd you do that for? Thancred turned into a sylph? No! Wait, are you telling me that was a sylph all along? Ugh, I can't believe I fell for that. I heard about the shape-shifting trick, but that sprite was just so convincing. I wonder where the real Thancred has disappeared to. I may not know where Thancred is, but I got a pretty good idea where Papalymo and Y'shtola will be. They were with me just now. Y'shtola suggested we split up to cover more ground, and took Papalymo with her. Oh no. Do you think one of them might have been a sylph in disguise as well? We should probably be after them just in case. Come on, they were headed somewhere to the south. No, I don't think so. Where are we going? Okay. Do, 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 do. Ah, well, I don't fancy making the wrong choice here. I'll let you do the honors. This one cannot tell the difference between them. Hi, girls. This is farcical. Trust not a word spoken here. Thank the 12 you found us at last. Wait, I see Yida, but where is... More imposters! Do not attempt to deceive me, sylph. I see what you are. But if by some faint chance you truly are my good friend Gale, mayhap you would consult Maxio over there, if Maxio he truly is, on the subject of how to dispel these infernal sylvan enchantments. This one suggests hitting these wise ones with a stone. If wise ones suspect Walking One is actually skin-changing one, Walking One is not likely to get a second opportunity to throw a scale bomb in wise one's presence. So Walking One must aim carefully so that all wise ones are caught in the same scale bomb's boom. Alright, that works. When in doubt, hit all three. Was that truly necessary? Look, that one's the sylph. This one's trick has failed, but Walking Ones have not won yet. This one will not allow Walking One to pass. Come any closer and this one's friends will be angry. So the little rascal means to stand his ground, does he? How very courageous. Would you do the honors, Gale? Greetings! I see you've all found each other. 'Twould seem I was a mite overzealous in my attempts to evade our sylvan ambushers. I was a mom away by the time I realized I was alone. Is that a miss? Do I have something on my face? Reasonably convincing, but one cannot be too careful. Remind me, Thancred, what was the reason for our little excursion into the Sylphlands? Did you take a tumble and bump your head, old friend? We're here to locate the site of the summoning so that Gale might parley with Lord Ramuh. Too easy. Aha! Why don't you tell us what you think of Flaming? Truly? You would have me speak of the songstress of Ul'dah? As you will. She is an exquisite rose that withers not with the passing of years. Charming as ever, I dare say you are perpetually beset upon all sides by swooning beauties. Please, Yashola, I do not seek to make them swoon. Poetry rises unbidden to my lips when I behold a maiden's fair countenance. 'Tis the curse of my minstrel blood. Enough. If this is not the real Thancred, then I believe we have found a suitable replacement. Indeed. Well, that seems like quite enough entertainment for one day. 'Tis past time we return to the task at hand. Gale, would you mind approaching our touched friend? If I'm not very much mistaken, his decision to stand his ground stems from something more than mere bravery. What did she mean, the real Thancred? And what's this about replacing me? This must be how Yida feels most of the time. Touched one has many dangerous ones as friend. Walking one must be very careful. So, Thancred is Thancred, Papalymo is Papalymo, L'shtola is L'shtola, and you are you, right? Well, that's easy enough to remember. This one's name is Yida, in case Walking One was wondering. Joke! I'm joking! Don't you dare scale bomb me again. Gale, you must needs confront that touched sylph. He's plainly attempting to keep us from something important. I would have words with my diminutive impersonator on the finer details of his portrayal, but the mission must take precedence. Mayhap 'tis best that you approach him alone. After I kill this milk root. Okay, tab targeting. Back off. Walking one is too strong. This one surrenders. This one is sorry for playing tricks on wise ones. But great and powerful one, Lord Ramuh, is not here, so there was no need for wise ones to go any further. No need at all. Wise ones definitely must not go any further. This one would not want wise ones to get lost. We overheard your exchange with our tormentor. His clumsy attempt at deceit would almost be endearing if time were not of the essence. Happily, I managed to take a reading of the surrounding area while you had his attention. As I suspected, the site of the Lord of Leven summoning is very close indeed. My measurements indicate a large ethereal disturbance to the southeast. Thanks to the antics of the sylph, we've been dragged to every corner of Sylphland, but none of our various readings returned a result of this magnitude. There can only be one conclusion. Ramuh was called forth in the vicinity of the sylph's aetheryte. I suggest we proceed thither with all possible haste. After bidding Maxio here a fond farewell, of course. Should our trusty guide come too close to his deity, there is the distinct possibility that he will fall under the primal's influence. Come, Gale, the Lord of Leven awaits.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramuh, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye, but there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial, if thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from at home.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Let's see how long this queue takes. And then we'll wrap it up there and do the rest of Defenders of Eorzea on Sunday. And I'm gonna run back and kill some milk roots while we wait. hang out here. See how long this takes. Hopefully it won't take forever. Two and a half minutes. Leaven an impression. "5 minutes. It lied. It lied." Come on, pop. Yay! And this time we don't have technological issues for the opening cutscene. I love this music. don't know if I actually know how to tank this. I'm gonna go stand next to somebody. I don't think at these levels there's still ever a timer what needs to switch, but I'm prepared just in case. Nope. I'm seduced. I'm stuck. Okay, I'm out. What made me click off? We win! Okay, I won't give the comm to anybody if I'll leave too quick.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light.
And how have you found me?
and I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Did you get a kick out of that, Eorzea?
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one.
Yeah, he's not slain. His essence has just gone back into the ethereal, into the life stream.
In witnessing thy struggle, the truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Okay, I think we'll close up Levin and Impression, and then we'll wrap up and continue Defenders of Eorzea on Sunday. Gale, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramuh received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well, then, that you have some experience in such matters. It's a good thing he didn't charge me to a test of beards. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty to this day, Gale. The Elder Seedseer must be informed of your deeds at once. Well, if I'm just gonna go back to Gridania, then I'll pick it up. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray, return to Regania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nafocal's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Gale. Alright, we'll just head into Gridania and save there. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for another wonderful episode of Final Fantasy XIV, Defenders of Eorzea. Gale, look in the camera. I bid you a good night, and thanks for watching.